Hey, this is Tom Benti Media. I'm here with my good friend, founder of Katra Film Series, Mr. Geoffrey Guerrero. Geoffrey, thank you so much for being here, my friends. Always good to see you. Thank you for being on the podcast, sir.
Thank you, brother. It's always an honor to be to see you and be a part of your films, your events. So I'm really happy that you allowed me to be on your podcast.
Thanks, man. Thanks, man. So tell me a little bit about, and tell the audience a little bit about your career. You know, we've kind of come up pretty much during the same time. We're about the same age. We've been doing this for roughly 20 years now. What's your story all about?
What's my story? Where to start? Well, back in 20, I graduated from film school. I went to Brooklyn College in 2003. I graduated in 2003. Film directing. Went to school for film production, concentration directing, minor in TV and radio. Right out of film school, I needed a job. So the first thing back then, and I think it's still a big thing now. The big thing was production, shooting, post production, reality TV. There was so many jobs out there for reality TV folks. So my first job out of film school, I was working on this TV show called The Apprentice, with the former president, and was the main attraction of the show. So yeah, cut my teeth in reality TV. I started off as a driver, a van driver, a PA, worked my way up to assistant camera, and 2 years I was done. After 2 years, I was like, this is, it's time to do something different. So I started working in post production. I did post production reality TV work for about, I'm gonna say 7, 8 years. And while I was doing that, while I was working on freelancing on these TV shows, I was also making my own films. So I would, like, the little money that I would make, I would invest it into my own short films, so I can continue to, flex the creative muscles and stay involved. That's the ultimate goal for me, is to make films. So after doing the reality TV, I had an idea, an opportunity arose to do a film festival. I had ran a festival in California and a festival based in Spain, and it was two terrible experiences. But I learned how to run a festival and how to do it well. So when I had an opportunity to start my own festival back in 2012, I just made it happen. I had an opportunity at this lounge called Katra Lounge. That's where we got the name, Katra Film Series. And we started doing a monthly. It was just like a monthly, really like low key, nothing fancy, just like a cool place for like filmmakers to meet, watch new films, and network. So we were doing that every month for like 2 or 3 years, and we started getting very competitive. We were getting really talented filmmakers presenting quality works. We started getting sponsors involved, industry support, different resources for filmmakers to make their careers more sustainable. They can continue to make films and partner up with different studio companies, different camera companies, rental houses, screenwriting companies, screenwriting software and resources. And yeah, so I've been doing that for the past 12. This year is going to be our 12th year.
Nice, man. Yeah, I've been to Katra many times. I had a film screen there dating back to, I think, 2015. I think Flat Brim.
Yeah.
My comedy Flat Brim. We had a Feast at the Beach, I think, the following year in 2016. And it's just always a great time to be around up and coming filmmakers and see what's happening. And I know you've had a lot of famous alum that have went on to really make some great projects. And what's great about your festival is that it's New York, man. It's New York through and through. And people come from all over the world to be a part of that scene, to be a part of that culture, to be a part of that art. And it really breeds some great talent.
Yeah, no, you're right. It's total. That was the main thing. It's right in the heart of New York too, right in downtown Lower Manhattan. You see the Empire State Building, like literally like not too far from the venue. So it was really cool. You got that New York experience, and as a filmmaker coming from all over the world, or from local filmmakers, you just get that New York festival experience. So it was really great. It was like an underground. If you remember that time, when we were screening it, it was like an underground bar, very dark. It was a hookah lounge / bar and / club.
Yep.
So you got the whole New York experience in that one night that we did it every month. In those early years, I think when you screened both films, it was monthly, right? Yeah, 2015, we were doing it monthly back then.
Yeah,
because then we scaled it back in 2018, I believe, when we started doing it quarterly.
Okay.
But yeah, I remember those films, Flat Brim and Feast at the Beach. That's a funny Funny film. I love
funny.
that. There's only a few films I recall from those early days because it's been
Yeah.
so long, and I just Feast at the Beach really gets you.
Yeah, it was.
Love that twist. I don't want to give it
Yeah.
away. Love that twist, but can we see can people see it somewhere online? Is it available?
I should make it. I should make it public. Yeah,
You
I think
should
it's
make it
still. I
public.
think it's
Yeah.
on Vimeo, but I think it's private. I should just put it out. I'll ask the. I just helped write it and direct it, but I worked with somebody who had the idea. This gentleman, Bobby Guerrero, who stars in the film. And I'll talk to him, and if he's cool with it, yeah, we can put it online for everyone to see. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
It's dark humor. Isn't it?
Dark
I
humor,
love dark
yeah.
humor. It's very Jersey.
Very Jersey.
Just has that vibe.
Yeah.
It was cool. It's great work, man.
Thanks, man. Thanks, man. So tell us about Katra Film Series today. I know it's a big part of the New York film community, and what's happening currently with the series.
So we're back in April. We got our 12th year kicking off April 24th to 28th. We're doing our spring series out in Regal Essex Crossing down in the Lower East Side. We're doing two screening nights with a virtual component of the festival. We're doing a one whole week online portion of the festival, in addition to the in-person screenings at the Regal Essex. So we're going to be there for 2 nights. We have Filmmaker opening night party, pre-party. We got an awards party sponsored by Brooklyn Commons and Brooklyn Brewery, giving away free booze. So it's going to be fun. We have some amazing talent. The films, we're going to be making the announcement in the next few days, but the films that we're getting, they're just mind blowing. It's the level of talent and creativity that these filmmakers are putting out there is just it's incredible.
And when, as a filmmaker myself and other filmmakers out there, when they submit to festivals, they're always wondering, well, what are the festival directors and people that are looking through submissions, what are they looking for? And you said you really had some great talent and you have some great films coming this way. But as a festival director, because you get so many submissions and you really have to whittle that down, what do you look for and what makes a film stand out from the other films that you're receiving?
A very simple, unique, original story. Stories with characters that are multidimensional. They have something refreshingly new that we haven't seen in the mainstream in Hollywood. We just look for stories that we haven't heard from before, original stories, just completely original stories. And just characters that are interesting and engaging and have they have the performances you can tell right off the bat when you watch the film. It grabs you right away. So the story has to be really, really good. And it doesn't have to be amazing. It doesn't have to be, the standard. The production quality doesn't have to be Hollywood style. It could be really low key. It could be a low budget film. So as the story is good and the characters are interesting, we'll accept it.
Nice. Yeah, I think it's important, like you said, to have that unique voice and really express it. So you might not have the biggest budget, but with today's technology, you can create things that look pretty good for a limited budget. But what you really need is that realness and that unique expression of your creative vision.
There's no excuses anymore, right? We live in an age where you pick up your phone, and you can shoot a film. You need a couple lights. You don't need big 5K lights to light up a scene. If you're a first-time filmmaker, you're making a film for the first time, get a couple dollars. I always say $10, 2 people in a room, make your first film. And you learn from that. That's your film school right there. If you can't afford film school, that's your film school. You make a film, your first film with a couple friends, spend a couple dollars, you're going to learn how to make a movie because each film will get incrementally better, right? You learn from your mistakes. You learn what you shouldn't do when you're making a film. That's just part of the learning process. So I would definitely encourage somebody who's thinking about making a career change, or young students who are thinking of getting into film school. If you're not sure, if you're still on the fence, make a film with your friends. Spend a couple dollars, ask your mom and dad for a couple dollars, and just make a film. That's how you learn, right? All the big guys that made it out there, they were shooting, they got a camera from their old man and they just shot a film, and that's how they learn.
Cool. And as a filmmaker yourself, because I know not only are you running Katra, but you're a filmmaker. And actually we had a film at another film festival, the Lighthouse International Film Festival in Long Beach Island, New Jersey, back in, I think, 2016. Yeah. And we were hanging out all weekend down there, and you had a great film that weekend. I saw it. It was really great. And actually, I know that you were able to collaborate with another artist who was at the festival because
Oh
she was
yeah.
so impressed with the quality of work that you're producing. So as a filmmaker, as an artist, who are some of your influences and what are you really trying to express when you're making a film?
Some of my influences, wow, there's so many out there. I can go back to like the French New Wave in the '60s, with Godard and those guys, Truffaut. So modern day American hero, our my filmmaking heroes, Scorsese, De Palma, Spielberg. Um, there's so many out there. I mean, Kubrick. Let's not forget Kubrick, New York, Bronx made filmmaker. Real stories. I like stories that reflect the world that we live in, the real world. You go outside, you meet so many people here in New York. I like to hear stories and watch stories that reflect reality. That's that's the films that I like personally.
Yeah, same
Um,
here, same here.
right. I admire those words. I think it's cool when you can learn and see about different world viewpoints, different people, hear about their life. And with that said, I like, I can watch the superhero movies, the Batmans and the Spider-Mans as well. But I also like, especially for independent film, I like to see films about real life, real people.
Same here, man. Same here.
Yeah,
Yeah, I love all the people you mentioned, Spielberg and Scorsese, obviously, and
yeah,
De Palma and Kubrick. I mean, just in what they did is they took the real world and they put their artistic expression on it, and they showed it in
yeah,
a way that was unique and resonated with an audience because it just had their creative vision, their unique vision on the art.
yeah. And they're still good. I mean, these guys are still in their late '70s now, and they're still making quality work. So it's incredible that they can stay active so long. I think it's inspiring for the new generation. You could continue to make films. Oh,
Yeah.
I guess it's all about getting the money, right? These guys get the money easy. They're like established names, um, which Hollywood will give folks like me some money so I can make a movie.
So, as someone who's in the film festival world, and I know a big part of Katra is you offer distribution opportunities to some of the filmmakers there. You set up those collaborations with individuals that have upstarts in terms of distribution models
Mhm.
for up and coming filmmakers. For someone who's in the industry and who's been in this industry for a while, where do you see distribution going? I mean, do you think that movie theaters are going to stick around? Do you think they're more going to be just event spaces, or do you think it's going to stay the same, or how do you think it's going to change?
Oh, movie theaters are going nowhere. Everybody loves to go to the movies, right? It's they're here to stay. I think there's just going to be a hybrid format. There's movie theaters will be like the place where movies premiere. They'll have a certain window. I mean, the window's been shrinking in the past few years, but a lot of these studios and there's a lot of companies out there that they're demanding that they have a certain window to screen their films in movie theaters, and I think that's great. Um, and then the distribution, there's you got all these startups that are coming out. Like we work with UKW Media, Urban TV, G-Pop TV, and they're providing amazing opportunities for up and coming indie filmmakers. So there's also great opportunities online digitally for filmmakers to get their work seen in multiple outlets and getting a wider audience as well. So all these new upstarts that are creating a platform online, I give them a lot of credit because they're opening doors that they weren't there, right? When we started in the industry, those doors weren't there. It was only like one or two festivals that were out there and only a few distribution companies, and your minimum budget had to be millions of dollars just to get seen in a movie theater. Now you could now there's many opportunities with the festival world as well. There's so many festivals now. I think the opportunities are just are endless now. It's great. It's a great time to be a filmmaker. If anybody wants to be a filmmaker, now's the time to do it because there's more opportunities than ever.
Yeah, and when you go to film festivals like yourself, like Katra's, that's where you're meeting people, you're meeting connections, you're meeting people in the industry, you're meeting fellow artists, and you're collaborating. And that's the great benefit is that you get to see other work and to learn and grow and develop from that other
Exactly.
work, but also to meet people that could potentially you can work with in the future.
You're meeting at Katra. You're meeting the doers, the heavy hitters, the people who are making it happen. They're out there. They come to Katra because they know that what we bring to the table is the real deal. We curate a program it's unparalleled. The quality that we're showing, and the people that are coming out, we're getting people that they know about us. We're here for 12 years now, so people know that what we do is real deal. We don't play around. We take this very seriously. We want to support filmmakers and give them a platform and help take them to the next level. And so for that reason, we've partnered up with such great organizations and companies over the past few years to continue to make that happen and make the career sustainable for the independent filmmakers, right? Because it's hard out there. It's not easy to make a movie, but when you have a festival like Katra and all these other ones that are out there, it makes the life of the filmmaker, I think, easier to navigate the festival world.
Yeah. Now, when we were coming up early on, like we didn't have this whole streaming platforms, and most of the content that was at film festivals at that time was strictly films, either short films or feature films. But now with Netflix and this rise in popularity of all these different series on all these different platforms, as a curator, do you also focus on long form content, streaming content, as opposed to just films and feature films and short films?
Yeah, we have episodic series that we screen. We have TV pilots that we accept as well. So yeah, we definitely we're looking for those more. We're getting a lot more than we are films now. We're getting more series and more TV pilots. So we're definitely giving them a chance to screen their works with us, and we give out prizes. We give out best episodic prizes every year, best TV pilot. We also have a screenwriting competition, and we give out prizes for the best TV pilot script, best episodic series script. So yeah, we're doing a lot to continue to help them out.
That's cool. Yeah, I mean, I think that's a big part of like any filmmaker's mindset now, is how we can create stuff a lot of the times that is more geared towards streaming platforms, because these shows are just so popular on Netflix, on Hulu, like, and if you get an audience base to be a fan of that show, they're coming back for episode after episode. And if you could hook them in with a great story world, great characters, like, you have a fan there that's going to stream your content continuously.
Exactly. Yeah, you build that following right off the bat, right? Once you grab them in that first pilot or episodic series, yeah, like you said, they'll keep coming back. Yeah, it's a great time to be a creator, I think, especially a digital creator, a web series creator. I think there's so many opportunities now. There's so many series festivals dedicated to just specifically towards episodic content.
Yeah.
So it's a great time to be one of these filmmakers, creators making these works.
Definitely. You watching anything cool now? Any cool films you've seen recently or shows?
Man, running 6 film festivals, I barely have time to sleep. Because in addition to Katra, I got Bowery Film Festival, I got New Faces, New Voices, Katra Latinx Festival, World Web Fest Mania, New York Pause. I'm about to start a couple other festivals. We're talking about some things. I barely have time. I do want to watch. I want to see Succession. I'm a big fan of Succession. I've seen the first 3 seasons, so I just heard that the new season, the fourth and final season is back. So I'm looking forward to that. Last of Us. Have you seen Last of Us? I haven't seen that.
No, I'm gonna
yet.
watch it. Yeah, I heard it's amazing.
Yeah, I haven't gotten a chance to see this. So it's hard to get to see running festivals. I'm just focused on these new filmmakers coming out of the that are starting off. So it's I got to get back into it because there's so much films out there and work that I want to see.
Yeah, definitely. I heard that's all on my list. I'm currently watching Dope Sick on Hulu, it's good. It's about the whole opioid crisis. Now the pharmaceutical companies kind of knew that this was really destroying people's lives and community lives. It's a little over the top, I think, at sometimes, because everyone becomes like involved with these drugs. But it's an interesting series. I thought Tar, the Todd Fields film. That was brilliant. Dark, very dark film, very dark, but really impactful. And then I saw Armageddon Time, which I think James Gray directed. It came out in October. I watched it on a plane. That's the type of film that I like a heart.
All right, how amazing! That's
story. You
really
saw it.
Emotional. Yeah, it's amazing. It has an emotional quality.
Yeah.
Very New York.
Yeah.
It's like there's a lot of layers.
A lot of layers, and it puts things in perspective, right? It just puts things in perspective. Like, it makes you think about stuff, about like the two children in the film, and like how it could have went a totally different way just based on who they are and where they come from, and it just makes you think. In the circumstances, it just makes you think, and that's the best film. I thought that was a phenomenal film. I loved it.
Yeah, have you seen his films? His other films? He has his tendencies towards dark dramas. Like all his films from his first his initial. Did you ever see Little Odessa?
No, I have to,
That
I
was,
have to go back to and watch those films.
man, that was, I think that's his darkest film. This one, the Armageddon Time, was pretty dark, but it wasn't as dark as Armageddon, Little Odessa. And then you have another one. I think the next film was actually one of my favorite. Speaking of Gray's film, The Yards. Have you seen The Yards?
No, I gotta watch
Another
that.
great one, and that was really dark too. Two Lovers is also good too. There's another film he made called Two Lovers, which is also really, yeah. He's no joke. I like his film. His films are very dramatic, very serious, but it's just very real. You know, you watch these films, you have
Exactly, very real.
you can connect with it.
Awesome, man. So what's next for Katra going forward? What's going on in the future?
So we have so April 24th, 28th, we're back. Tickets are going on sale soon. We have all access passes going on sale as well, so folks want to check that out. Then we have our Katra Fall Festival in October, so stay tuned for that. And our sister festival, Bowery Film Festival, is coming back in November for our sixth I believe is our sixth year now. Sixth year. New Faces, New Voices comes back in September. Katra Latinx July, August World Web Fest Mania.
Now, does each film festival have its own have its own brand, its own voice? Are they all
its own yeah, they're very niche audience. So like New Faces, New Voices, all about supporting and championing underrepresented communities, military veterans, Black filmmakers, Latinx filmmakers, Asians, LGBTQ, you name it, disabled community. Then we have New York Pause Film Festival. I started during the pandemic. It was just dedicated to bringing indie cinema back into movie theaters, and we give away $1,000 cash prize. So that's the main thing, $1,000 cash prize. They get to make their next project. We're still doing that, even though the pandemic's over. We're coming back again for our third. This is our third year. Yeah, third year coming up in November, and then Katra Latinx, dedicated to Latino talent. And World Web Fest Mania, all online digital, so stuff that's online that normally you see on YouTube or like episodic content, TV pilots. We give them a physical space to screen their works with the audience and have a conversation with people. You know, which ultimately, as a filmmaker, that's what we want to do, right? You make these films to get it seen by a theatrical audience and have this communal experience. You get to watch it and talk about it. And yeah,
what's good is that when you go to a film festival like Katra, like the audience is engaged. Most of the time, they have great questions after the screening. When I was there in October, just really some great responses from the audience in terms of like intellectual questions about the characters and your creative vision and stuff like that. So that's what's really great is you get immediate feedback from people that are there watching the films, and you see how it responds, because you really can't get that online or just by sending a link to somebody. Like, to have that immediate feedback, I think, is priceless.
Yeah, exactly. And that was in November, actually, the Bowery Film Festival.
November, yeah.
So I forgot to mention. So Bowery Film Festival, that's the rock and roll festival. So it's like an edgy downtown New York rock and roll vibe. That's the vibe that we go for with Bowery Film Festival. And that happens, in November. Yeah, like you said, the conversations that we're having, people really they know what they're talking about. You know, they come in there, they make their films, and they're prepared to answer any questions. And audiences are very smart. They watch tons of movies nowadays, so they're prepared as well.
Yeah. So as someone who's running all these different film festivals, like, you must have a real love for it, a real passion for it. What do you get out of running all these film festivals?
Oh, wow. It inspires me. It inspires me to create. So, because I'm a filmmaker first, right? I want to make that. I make movies. That's what I do. I haven't done it in the past 5-6 years. I'm a dad now, so that's keeping me very busy. But I'm getting back in the game in the next few months. So stay tuned for my next film. Should be a dandy.
Cool, man. Cool. So how can people keep updated on what's going on? What are the socials, and how can we stay in touch?
We have our website, www.katrafilmseries.com, boweryfilmfestival.com, at Katra Film Series, Katra Film Series, at Bowery Film Festival, BOWERY Film Festival. At all our socials, New Faces, New Voices, World Web Fest Mania, New York Pause Film Festival, and Katra Latinx Festival. So those are at you'll find us up on Instagram and Facebook, Twitter.
Awesome, man. Well, thank you, Geoffrey. Always a pleasure and an honor to talk with you, sir. And
Thank
I
you,
hope to see
Tom.
you soon, man.
It was great to see
in
you, man.
person. Yeah, man.
Yeah,
Always
yeah.
great to see you.
Let's do a sit. Well, I'll give you an all access pass for April if you're in town.
Yeah, I should be there. That sounds
check
great.
out some of the
Appreciate
film.
that.
All right,
Thank you,
buddy.
man.
Good seeing you,
See
Tom.
ya.